So now, distinct reasons to join a currency union. So should you join a currency union? And I'm just talking at a general level. But by joining a currency union, foreign governments impose discipline, fiscal discipline, that forces your government to balance its budget in a present value sense. You don't have to balance it every year, but the present value of government surpluses has to equal the present value of government debt. If you're on the present value of government surpluses is equal to current government debt. If you just take the government budget constraint and iterate it. So by joining a currency union, one story is a country like Italy is forced to behave more like Germany. So that's the precondition. And that's the no bailouts. That's if Germany is not going to bail out Italy, currency union is like the United States has with Ecuador or Zimbabwe. We're not going to bail out Zimbabwe. If Zimbabwe wants to stay on the US dollar, it's going to have to run a present value budget. Okay, there's another reason. By joining, this is very distinct. So these are opposites. By joining a currency union, your government expects a foreign government to finance part of your country's domestic expenditures. So here the quote is, Italians expect German taxpayers to help fund Italian government expenditures and debts so that Italians can keep being like Italians and Germans can be even more like Germans. And I don't mean to get personal. Okay. So those are two good reasons, very different reasons to join a currency union. And, okay. So here's a good reason not to join a currency union. It's to avoid discipline that foreign governments may want to impose on your government's taxes and expenditures. So this interacts with the other. If you don't like the first bullet point there, by joining, you're going to accept fiscal discipline imposed from abroad. This says don't join. And lots of countries have made that choice in history. Okay, so finally, two reasons to exit a currency union. We hear talk about exiting a currency union, and we hear about one of these 2 points, but you may start hearing more about the other one, which hasn't been talked about. So a fiscally profligate country, well, you could mean the United States, but that's not who I'm talking about. A fiscally profligate country may want to leave a currency union to avoid other governments' threats to impose discipline and control. So I have in mind Greece or Spain or Italy. They might want to bail out because they don't want, if they see discipline coming, they may want to. But on the other hand, think it through. A fiscally prudent government, I'm thinking perhaps of Germany or Finland, they may want to leave to avoid having to bail out and or to impose unpleasant discipline on other countries that are now within the currency union. So the question is, who's going to be the cause of the divorce? The prudent one or the profligate one? You know, now if you think about a marriage, 50-50. But a currency union, we've been thinking about the profligate country leaving. It may be something else may happen. Okay, so now the question is, who chooses? Countries and collections of countries face these choices. Well, fortunately, not some economist sitting before his blackboard, but diverse groups of voters with conflicting interests within each country decide. Democracies decide. And if somebody asks you, well, what should be done if you're an economist, avoid that question. Because within and across countries, there are winners and losers from any policy, both within and across countries. And so if you want to predict what's going to happen, you're going to have theories of democracies. And a theory of one democracy is very difficult. A theory of 17 or 20, like in a year, is even more difficult. So that's where we are.